Hello guys, hi, this is Ganesh Nayak. I help finance professionals and students to excel in their career and become a better version of themselves. And I'm back with one of my students' interview. She has been able to clear the SCR exam, Sustainability and Climate Risk exam, in the April 2024. And she's going to be talking about her journey of preparing for the exam and how she managed the other exam also which she was preparing. Chandrika, thank you very much for joining in. And if you can give a brief about you to the audience. What was the status when you started thinking about SCR exam?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having me, sir. Actually, I am a CA final student. So, I had actually recently given my CA final exams in November 23. And after the results, I wanted to do something other than CA also. That's when I was actually exploring a lot of other certifications and other courses when I came across Ganesh sir's videos about this course. And this seemed very unique and rare course to me, and best opportunity for me to enter into the field of risk management. So from there, it all began.
Okay, wonderful. And so you had your CA exam in the month of May and you appeared for SCR in April.
Yes, sir.
So was there no fear? I mean, in the sense that a lot of people who prepare for CA, they only go for that one exam. They don't have time to go for anything else.
Yes, sir. That's true. Actually, many of my friends and mentors told me it's a bad decision. Don't do this. Don't do anything coupled with this. But I was like, I want to try something. So that's why I just did it in spite. Actually, I was the exam April 24th or something. It was SCR exam, and my CA exam was from May 1st. So there was a very little gap, which is little scary. And I remember calling you up, sir, towards the end, that I have not completed the course. Should I defer my attempt and everything? And you were the one who motivated me, like, okay, you have done like this much, so push a little bit more and try. And that's how I cleared.
Wonderful. And so now, so when did you register with GARB for the exam?
I registered in the month of January, sir. That last day of the early bird registrations.
Acha. And from that day, did you started reading the book?
Actually, to be very honest, no. I actually took the classes towards the end of February, and that's when I started reading little. Because I also had to do the CA finals. I couldn't find that much time to dedicate.
Okay. And then you basically, when you started with us by the end of Feb, so how much time you were giving for SCR and how much time you were giving for CA? Daily basis?
Mostly it was like on the weekdays I would do completely CA exam preparations, and on the weekends I was doing SCR preparations. So like around in a week I would say it was 10 to 15 hours.
Okay. And when did you complete your one full reading of the content for SCR exam?
I could do that only at the end. So I would say mid of April, I completed one full reading. So,
okay. And did you solve also at that point the chapter-wise questions?
Yes, sir. At the end of each chapter, I used to solve the questions. Actually, that's what gave you the confidence that we learned it. And even that after chapter-wise tests that were very helpful. Also, along with the chapter notes, in between the notes you had given MCQs in between topics.
Right.
So those were also very, very helpful.
Okay. And then, when you were solving the chapter-wise questions, what was the accuracy that you were getting in those questions?
So since it was the first time, I always got around 60 to 70%. Some chapters I could do around 80%, but others it was 60 to 70%.
And was your way of preparing for the exam different than the way you were preparing for CA exam?
Yes, sir. Because this SCR is completely new to us, and its pattern is also the complete MCQ types. So it was a little bit different.
Okay.
I used to watch your videos and then have a reading of the textbook and solve the questions. So
Okay.
that's how it.
Wonderful. Okay. And then, did you solve all the mock papers before the exam? All my mock papers, basically.
Yes, actually, I couldn't solve all the mock papers because the exam was very near to my CA. But I managed to do the sample papers, and the guard
Okay.
sample paper I did, and maybe one or two mock papers I did solve. Like around 50% of the content I did solve, and other 50 I did not leave it out completely, but I did not solve it. I just clicked answer all and then went through it like a question bank.
Okay. Okay. But that GARP sample paper you solved properly
Yes, sir. Yes, I did.
by giving 3 hours proper, right?
Yes, yes.
What was the score in that GARP sample paper?
That was also in between 60 to 70%. Sir.
And when you called me, right? So when was that time, if you remember, which whether it was start of April?
Yes, sir. It was in the start of April. I think towards the second week, I was very much panicked. I had the CA final exams, and a lot of things were left. Like I was just completing the final reading
Okay.
of the first revision.
Okay. Okay. And when you went to the exam, on the day of the exam, you started solving. What happened in that first half an hour?
Actually, I started solving, and I could. I thought it would be very. I just went in a mindset of I'll just go. It's like a practice round since it's common
Okay.
in CA. So that's what I thought. But I could actually like recall most of the questions there, and I could. Many questions were actually from our mock tests and the question samples we have. Like in your content, there is around like minimum of 1,000+ questions to practice from. So actually I could find a lot of questions coming from there, so that kind of
Okay.
gave me a confidence boost to get into it and solve.
And you were able to do everything in that 3 hours?
Yes, sir, I was.
Okay. And when you went at the end, how many questions you had, what do you say, flagged?
Sir, I didn't understand your question.
So basically, once you solve the question bank, the actual exam paper, and you reach at the end, you must have flagged certain questions, no, which you would go and revisit. So if you remember the numbers, how many questions you had flagged?
Around 10 to 20 questions I had flagged.
Okay. Okay. But out of that, remaining 60, you are confident that whatever you have solved, you're okay, confident of that.
I wouldn't say that, but it was always like a few questions. There were two options which were very close, and then
Right.
I applied that elimination technique and did.
Okay, wonderful. And how many theory and how many calculations was there in your exam, if you remember?
Yes, sir. Most of it was theory. Calculation was very less. I would say maximum of 10 questions.
Okay, okay. And when you are looking out at when you completed the entire question and solving and all, when you came out of the center, what was your thought process? That will you be able to clear, or out of 80, how many questions you will get correct? Any idea on that?
Yes, sir. I was sure I'll get around like 50% for sure. But
Okay.
above that, I was a little skeptical. And since it is a percentile system, so 50% would be enough to clear. So I was really not sure about the result until I saw.
Okay, wonderful. Now, suppose if somebody is preparing for the exam, SCR exam, and wants to get a guidance from you. So, can you give 3 tips from your experience of preparing for the exam?
Yes, sir. So my first tip would be to solve as many questions as possible. So in our classes from Fintelligents, they have like given amazing notes, especially for the additional reading material. The notes were really very helpful, especially in the final moment for me. So solve as many questions as possible. and have a reading. The first reading we should, I think, after watching the class video, we should give the reading once by ourselves. That helps us recall and locate at the exam rather than just listening to the video.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So, Chandrika, thank you very much for taking out time and talking to us. And this is very unique. I mean, somebody going for CA exam and then giving SCR is a very unique case. I mean, you've cleared this exam, and I'm sure you're going to clear the CA exam also. So, best of luck for that. And thank you very much for taking out time and talking to us with respect to the journey that you've done. When did you started preparing? The panic moment that happened. And then how did you even did not solve my mock papers. You actually went directly to the gap sample paper, and then you went for the exam.
I solved out of 4, I think I would have solved 2.
Actually, you have solved 2. Okay. And then you solved the gap sample paper, and then you went for the exam and all. So your journey is definitely going to help a lot of people who are thinking of this exam in the future. So thank you very much for taking out time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.